So I welcome you all, guys, on the session on Magic of Kaizen. So before we initiate, a small snippet about Prisma and about me. So Pradeep, could you just go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So guys, Prisma Philosophy is a 10 years old organization. We are not only having a foothold in national level, but also at an international platform. And the beauty is we are serving various set of sectors and organization. Our mantra has become very strong in the aspect of excellence to eminence, because what we say, every individual is excellent, and every individual needs to identify are their potentials, and these potentials can be lead to eminence of our courses. In last decade, we have trained more than 50,000 professionals, and we are serving 50 plus blue chip organization. The excellent part is we have been doing a lot of research, and we have been backed by 3 consecutive gold medal by Ministry of HRD ISTD. And this is has been a great benefit and achievement for us. So this is small snippet. I am Anubha Maurya Walia. I am the founder of this company, and I welcome you all on the session. So without wasting the time now, I will hand it over to Pradeep. So Pradeep, all yours. Pradeep. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'll just check Pradeep. 1 second.
Okay. I'm audible now?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome for joining the session. And first of all, thanks to Anuba and all Prism team for taking such a wonderful initiative. And I know you are working day and night since last many days. And I'm also feeling honored because this is the first session of the series which I'm taking. So thanks to all Prism team, and thanks all the participants who are here. So hope I'm audible. So let me give a brief introduction before I start. So I'm Pradeep Sharma, based at Jalandhar in Punjab. Is having a more than 25 years experience with a different organization. And I'm lucky enough to work with the Toyota and being a part of Kaizen Institute for some time. And I'm working as a freelance trainer and consultant for approximately last 13-14 years for Kaizen and Lean implementation. And I serve many clients, including manufacturing industries, corporate houses, and educational institute also. And apart from this, I'm also dealing into the soft skill and behavioral training. And Kaizen is one of the topic which is very close to my heart, actually, because it is not something which I have read through the books only, because it is something which I lived with in a philosophy also. So let me start with the case study. And then it's a small case study, and then I'll took it to the current scenario. I have designed this session in correlation with the current scenario which we are going through. So let me start the case study, and I'm sure you will guess it because the picture is enough. So yes, you guessed it right. This is somewhere around 1945 during the Second World War, when in the first time in the history of mankind, the atom bomb, or what we call nuclear bomb, was used by US military. And the 2 cities was targeted, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And both cities were totally demolished. They're totally out of the map of Japan. It was a huge destruction, not only in those 2 cities, but for the entire Japan. The whole country was demolished. The whole system comes to the halt. All the buildings, schools, hospitals, factories, government offices, all was finished. It was full destruction which never, the history of mankind has seen. And after this, the story goes probably 20 years ago, and within this short span of 2 decades, the world has seen an altogether new Japan. The Japan which was never seen by world earlier. The all new world-class infrastructure. You know, you talk about the world fastest train, you talk about world best automobiles, you talk about world best camera, electronic gadgets, everything. Probably they become a world of one of the best, you know, top 5 economy in the world also. So now the question is, how could this now new Japan came into the existence after such a huge demolition or destruction? So this is a case study of a demolition, destruction to reconstruction. And everybody was asking, what is the secret behind the success of Japan? What is the secret behind such a huge change in the Japan? And there was one answer in one word, that's the Kaizen. So we call it, you know, secret weapon behind the success of Japan. However, there is no magic, but we call it magic. So you all, probably most of you are aware of this word Kaizen. We call it the art of making improvements. So let me literally go through the word itself. Kaizen is a Japanese word, of course, made up of 2 different words. One is Kai, another is Zen. Whereas the Kai stands for change and Zen stands for good, which means, so Kaizen means change for betterment, change for good. Any activity which is targeting for the change is known as Kaizen. And since Kaizen is not an overnight change, it's not a huge change, it's a small but continuous change. So in simple word, we can say Kaizen means continuous improvement day by day. That's it. And we'll try to differentiate further Kaizen versus innovation. Innovation is also change, but that's something different. So in a simple definition, Kaizen means a continuous improvement in a small way, day by day. The improvement could be small, but it will be a continuous. And the area of the scope of Kaizen is not just into the workshop, you know, factories or something like this. It's a holistic approach used by Japanese people. So when we say improvement in professional life, personal life, social life, everywhere. So that's a brief introduction of Kaizen. And to support this Kaizen theory, Mr. Sakichi Toyoda, who was a founder of Toyota company, he again gave one simple definition of Kaizen, the perspective of Kaizen. He says, today should be better than yesterday and our tomorrow should be better than today. Which simply again says, there must be a small improvement on daily basis. So I repeat that it may not be a big change, but it could be a small change, but continuous change. So this is all about the philosophy of Kaizen. And there's nothing new. I mean, nature also teaches the Kaizen philosophy. Nature also tells with a different example that continuous improvement is also one of the best things which people can do in his lifetime. And we have so many various examples where we can see this continuous but small improvement. I repeat, continuous but small improvement. So whenever we do Kaizen, we are not expecting big changes. We always believe in small but continuous changes. And throughout the history of the Kaizen, because it's an old philosophy now, so many books have been written on this, so many videos have been there in the YouTube, so many course and training program has been designed. We have a certain set of principle which talks about the Kaizen. So I have a few principles which I'll share with you. The first principle is there is no end of improvement. So when we talk about Kaizen, we believe that there is nothing like benchmarking. There is nothing like perfection. And there is no end of improvement. You can do improvement endlessly. For example, the Corolla, Toyota Corolla, which we have seen is not the Corolla which was there in the 1965. every 2-3 years there is a new version of Corolla. You take any car, the Swift which we are seeing today is not the same Swift which was probably the 20 years back. The mobile, the Nokia handset which we are seeing today is not the same. So every year, every month, every day, every minute, there is a scope of change. There is a scope of improvement, and there is no end of improvement. This is how Kaizen philosophy says. So that become one principle. Another principle which Kaizen, when we come to the practical implementation of Kaizen, they says if you want improvement, you should know where we are and where we should go. We should have a plan, and we should always have a fact and figure with us. There should not be a oral discussion. There should not be an assumptions. There should not be any presumptions. So Japanese people, they believe assumptions and presumptions are very dangerous. So that's become a principle that we should always, for any project we are working on Kaizen, there should be a facts and figure. And in relation to this, there is another principle that also support this, that says, believe in your own eyes. So unless you go to the floor shop, unless you go to the situation, unless you go to the place, we called it Gemba in the Kaizen language. They say, unless you go to the place and see in your own eyes, don't believe the situation. Because if you have to have a facts and figure, you should believe only with your own eyes. So there is no place for assumption and presumptions in a Kaizen philosophy. So that's one of the principles. Another principle, which is a beautiful example of Kaizen. Kaizen means simplicity. Kaizen means something which should make our life easy. So we are not focusing here, very complex, very big projects. We just believe in the small activities, simple activity, which even a common man can do. One of the tools which we are using in the Kaizen is the common sense. And we also know common sense is also not so common. So the one of the largest tool which we use is the common sense, which says we should make our process simple. So that's become another principle. And that's my favorite. This is what Kaizen says. Think small, do small. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am also motivational trainer. You also have seen a lot of motivational trainer, inspirational trainer. And then one thing which they always say is, guys, think big, do big. Think big, do big. The power of big thinking. I think a lot of books are also there. But Kaizen, on a very practical approach, they say, think small, do small. Which means, when you are in a worst to do